3, 2, 1.
Would you believe me if I told you this was Jurassic World meets Predators meets The Running Man? We are talking about the Jurassic Games. This one is directed and co-written by Ryan Merriman and comes out in the UK by Fliers Entertainment in May and in the US by Uncork'd Entertainment in June. Now this has a pantheon of prehistoric predators, and it's even a monster movie with social commentary. The story here, you might say, is somewhat similar to Hunger Games. We have a group of volunteers, shall we say, in this kind of virtual reality world where they're actually prisoners, all on death row, all of whom have got the death penalty, and they are given a chance to win freedom if they can survive this kind of these torturous games and survive the dinosaurs in this VR world. But if they die in the game, they'll die in real life, and only one can survive. So that's your kind of your basic setup. Sounds a little bit like Hunger Games. It's very much like Running Man, which of course is a Stephen King story. So we have this kind of this group of 10 convicts, each of whom have got a variety of different kind of backgrounds. Well, our protagonist character, our main character, he may or may not be innocent. He may have been kind of like just have a crime he didn't commit, or he may have done it. You have to watch the movie to find out. Along with that, we also have this kind of the subplots, the B plot here of what's going on in the real world and all the kind of the shenanigans that are going from the TV producers, and there's a kind of a also there's this kind of like rising dissent among the kind of the public that this is inhumane, and there's kind of all these kind of protesters and stuff like that. So we have actually this kind of like these political angles as well, kind of going on behind the scenes. It's actually really good world building. It actually reminded me of kind of things like Starship Troopers, where they have these, you know, these kind of fake like ads and things that pop up throughout the movie. There's even a little ad for kind of these action figures of the characters in the film. I thought it was quite fun. So this movie, I would say, yeah, I mean, it's a straight to DVD film, but you know, it does a pretty good job. This is what you want from a kind of a lower budget kind of science fiction action film. I think it delivers on most levels. But let's go into it in a little bit more detail. So the first thing for me, it's a fun plot. It's a bit of a goofy premise, but it's a really fun plot. It's really well paced. When we get into these kind of these virtual games, they're split up into 4 sections. So it means there's a little bit of variety as you go sort of through it. I mean, if you've ever seen the movie Shark Week, it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. That's an asylum film. But you know, you have these kind of all these characters, all very very different kind of like personality traits, all these killers. So that's quite fun. You have different kind of dinosaurs that will come through, and these kind of different challenges and things that they kind of have to overcome. I thought it was well paced. The actual effects here are surprisingly good. You'll be very impressed with the CGI monsters, the CGI dinosaurs that you'll see on display here. And the funny thing is here, these are some of the best looking CGI dinosaurs that I've seen on screen, with the exception of obviously the kind of the Jurassic Park movies. And they didn't really even have to go that far, because these are not real dinosaurs. They are virtual reality constructs. So they have that inbuilt in the movie. It's a plot point. The effects don't have to look all that good, because they are simply VR constructs, not real dinosaurs. But the effects do look good for the most part. There's a couple of scenes where the effects look a bit ropey. There's a kind of a man-eating plant and a saber-toothed tiger that do look on the kind of a bit of a crapper side. But for the most part, the T-Rex, the Raptors, all the other dinosaurs look pretty damn impressive, I've got to say. So I was very, very impressed with the effects work here. I thought the actions and the kind of the actual choreography, the actual set pieces are all very good. Acting is a little bit of a mixed bag. The majority of the cast here do absolutely fine. There are a couple of the convicts that have way the other side there. There's some really bad acting from 2 especially, yeah, it's quite bad. And some of the dialogue as well is like, oh, Jesus, this is really unrealistic dialogue. And you can kind of pick holes in it in a few other ways as well. I mean, I was thinking these prisoners, they're actually in these kind of like almost like a comatose state whilst they are kind of, their minds are in this this VR game. So then why are they wearing VR headsets if they're just kind of like out of it? Because they're not like reacting and they're not kind of moving around, they're just still. Why are they wearing VR headsets if they're just in a sort of comatose state? Doesn't make sense to me. So yes, you can definitely pick holes in this movie. It's not going to be an Oscar winner. It's not going to be even a kind of a film that you would see on blockbusters and thinking, oh, you know. But for what it is, for what this movie's trying to do, it's a hell of an entertaining ride. It's a really good B movie, I would say. There's so many other kind of straight-to-video movies that are simply nowhere near this level. I feel this is a very good attempt that has a good effects-driven film with some definable characters that have a good backstory, and that actually tries to have a little bit of more meat on the bones. Even if you come outside of the dinosaur stuff, like all the stuff that's going on, the kind of the you know, the possible look at a future that may well be similar to this that we've seen in a variety of different ways. You know, it adds that extra layer of world building that I feel this is, you know, a movie like this you wouldn't normally expect it to do. So I'm very, very impressed with this movie. Obviously for the scale that it is. I'm not saying this is going to be, you know, the next Aliens or anything like that, but it's a very, very decent movie for a kind of direct-to-video film. You know, yeah, it's cheesy, it's not deep, you know, it's kind of got some crappy dialogue and some ropey acting in it. But for this films that I review on this channel, it's very impressive. So if you are a kind of a B-movie fan, if you're a monster movie fan, if it's just like a fun and exciting ride, but aren't going to be too critical about kind of like high concept and you know super kind of realistic things, then you will definitely want to check this out. I really had a lot of fun with this film, and I was thoroughly engaged from beginning to end. So I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's a very decent movie, and I would enjoy watching this again. So 8 out of 10 for me. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me comments, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.